If you like this content, please help it trend. Subscribe, leave a like, a comment, check me out on all my other social media platforms. It helps me trend more than you'll ever know. It's TBNation, DIY for fishing. The owner of this boat really wanted a power tilt, so he got one. This is probably the best one on the market. This is a CMC Power Tilt machine. Here we go. Stack it on. It does give you a slight elevated rise like a jack plate, but that's not its primary purpose. You can also pair this with a fairly thin jack plate, which you might have to do later. But for now, it seems to be okay right here. This will actually raise the cavitation plate to a better height, and will have the option of a power tilt and trim. So we marked the holes. It has 4 major holes that we're going to go ahead and stick 1/2-inch hardware through. Anytime you drill into a transom, it needs to be sealed. The best sealant we can use for this part is 3M5200. We're going to use a little thin piece of wire to spread it around to make sure it gets all in the grooves before we stick any of the hardware through. We are using stainless steel hardware, 1/2-inch bolts, nuts, washers, and lock rings. You can pick that up at any hardware store. This box did not come with the associated hardware, so you did have to go and get the hardware. So we're kind of maxed out on how high we can rise it because of that cap on the transom, but if you wanted to fix that, you just have to go get some flat bar with the appropriate thickness and just stack it right there. That way you can have the freedom on that spot. The hardware was a cinch to settle up there, just figure out which way you want it to go. I chose to put the nuts on the outside. Doesn't particularly matter. And we have one of the most awesome motors ever. We have the brand new generation Yamaha 4-stroke 25 horse. It's comically light. Like, you never thought a 25 horse 4-stroke could be this light. We're going to do a full review of this motor once this boat is up and going. That'll have to come later, but I have very, very high anticipations for it. Now we're going to go ahead and take care of the wiring. The wiring is super simple. It's literally a plug-in that goes right directly to the CMC, and then it's just the 2 terminals that hook to the battery. It's already got all the relays and fuses in place with a rocker switch right here. Now that we have it set in place, we're going to have to go and finish this thing off. It has this gigantic filler plate for the motor to clamp onto. And depending on where the spots are on your motor for you to put mounting bolts, you could be drilling through very thin aluminum or extremely thick aluminum. So have drill bits ready to take care of that. This was really easy to install DIY, and the benefits you'll get from it on the water are pretty substantial. You'll notice it immediately. We're going to run into some problems here with the bolts kind of hitting the transom, so we're likely going to have to do some other mod to make this work to the max level. We'll do that later, but you know, that's just this motor. It won't happen for every motor. Until then, just know this is a really good option. This is the option for the smaller boats, is the one we're having, the PT35. They have options for all boats out there. Check them out.